From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. President Obama is planning to speak at a State Department conference on the future of the Arctic and Arctic politics.
That conference will be held August 31st in Anchorage. The conference will bring together foreign ministers from Arctic nations and other non-Arctic states with scientists, policymakers, and stakeholders from Alaska to talk about how the Arctic is changing and how it affects the rest of the world.
The Greater Fairbanks Community Hospital Foundation has advocated for Medicaid expansion since 2013, when it forwarded a resolution to the legislature and the governor requesting it. Jeff Cook of the foundation said patients without coverage often have to resort to the emergency room for what should have been basic care, but that sometimes they wait so long it ends up being chronic care. He says it's uncompensated care that could be done more efficiently and effectively in a better setting, which Medicaid expansion will allow. Yesterday, Governor Bill Walker announced he is going for Medicaid expansion, and Cook responded.
It'll certainly allow Fairbanks Memorial Hospital to bring in millions more of dollars and provide care to many more. It will also allow us that opportunity to hire more health care providers, and we are ready in Fairbanks to take on Medicaid expansion.
This year's wildfire season is only 200,000 acres away from becoming the second largest season on record in Alaska. So far, the state has seen over 4.7 million acres burned. Alaska Interagency Coordination Center Public Information Officer Cale Casey says the spread of wildfires has slowed down as a result of wet conditions and cooler weather across the state. The Aggie Creek fire 30 miles north of Fairbanks is currently 42% contained. Firefighters are reporting a lot of activity for the Spicer Creek fire above the village of Tanana. Crews are protecting structures there. Casey adds that officials are worried that high winds predicted across many areas of the state, including the interior, could activate the spread of wildfires.
This is still a very serious fire season. Even though we're seeing less smoke in Fairbanks and we're seeing a decrease in fire activity statewide, there's still over 300 fires burning. 21 of them are staffed. Fire managers are looking at ways that they can release aircraft when possible to areas like Canada and California, but they're certainly not going to not replace crews. So we have a load of 5 hotshots arriving tomorrow from the lower 48, and we're going to keep staffing levels right where they need to be.
Tourism is one of the largest industries pumping money into the local economy. And while a substantial base of visitors remains steady, trends are constantly changing. Mike Fussell has the report.
The face of tourism in the Golden Heart City is always changing. But several countries make up a stable core group of visitors. Japan, Germany, Northern Europe, the UK, and Australia are among those that support the interior's roughly $400 million travel industry, according to the tourism marketing group Explore Fairbanks.
International travel constitutes about 10% of our summer visitation, and in terms of winter, Fairbanks is the most visited international destination for our visitors to Alaska.
German airliner Condor is celebrating 15 years of service between Europe and Fairbanks this week, transporting more than 14,000 passengers. Condor's head of sales and marketing for North America, Janet Gorecki-Makinen, says choosing to touch down in city limits has been a great investment.
Next year we're adding 2 additional flights, so instead of 11 flights like we have this year, it'll be 13 flights next year. The expectations for the flights, the bookings, they meet our expectations. It's perfect.
And tourists from new countries are following Germany's lead.
Travelers from China, Taiwan, and South Korea are among the people coming through these gates the most in record numbers.
Explore Fairbanks Director of Tourism Scott McCrae says changes in China have made it the top growing demographic to watch.
The economy is strong over there right now, but a very important factor as well is that the visa requirement that allows China visitors to come to the U.S. Is not as strict as it used to be. The prediction is that by 2020, Chinese tourism to the U.S. will grow by about 160%.
And that's something McCrae says Explore Fairbanks is really beginning to pay attention to.
So we've been kind of tracking this to see how are they getting their information, what's their method of traveling, what are they doing while they're here, and what we're seeing is they're connecting via their own social media channels.
New groups will always be coming and going, but the folks at Explore Fairbanks say that's just the nature of the travel business. Reporting, I'm Mike Fussell.
All right, when we come back, a group founded by 5 women whose goal is to pick charities within the community to support with donations decided last night on a specific agency to support, and we'll tell you who they chose.
Okay, also it's time once again for another gardening tip. Tonight, a flower that is very popular in the interior. These stories and more when we return. Welcome back. Well, they're at it again. 100 Golden Heart Women Who Care, a local organization designed to support nonprofits, met last night at the River's Edge Resort in Fairbanks. The group, founded by 5 women, follows closely to a Women Who Care national program started in 2006. Its goal is to gather women in the community together who pick charities that a simple $100 per member can raise thousands. Last night, 3 charities spoke about their need for the donation, and after a vote, the winning charity was North Star Council on Aging. That program helps seniors with various things, including delivering food to their doors with the Meals on Wheels program. Over $15,000 was donated, and they say that money will help many seniors in need.
Specifically, their Meals on Wheels program, which serves 150 people a day. Meals cost $10 a piece, and $19,000 is going to go a real long ways towards that. So I think it's very exciting and very fun, and it's so nice to give money to an organization with no strings attached, so they can use it to the best of their ability.
Also announced last night was another program beginning in August called 100 Professionals Who Care. The 2 groups will work hand in hand for others, especially men in the community who want to follow in the footsteps of 100 Golden Heart women.
A flower that is quickly becoming a big favorite all across the state is the peony. Tonight in our gardening tips, we'll show you how to raise and care for them.
Hi, I'm here today to talk to you about growing peonies in your home garden. Peonies have been around for a very long time. In fact, people all the time ask, hey, I picked up a piece of peony from my grandmother's garden and I brought it home with me to Alaska. I'd like to know, how do I grow it? How do I take care of my peony? So right now, peonies are incredibly popular in Alaska because we're growing them commercially for sale, sending the blossoms all over the world. But kind of beside that, there are all of the people that are growing them just as beautiful flowers in their garden. When you get your peony root and you bring it home, what are you supposed to do with it? First off, you would look at the root and notice that there are shoots coming up. Those shoots should be no more than 2 inches below the surface of the soil when you plant it to make sure that they are able to come up the next year and have flowers on them. If you plant them too deep, there'll be no flowers. If you plant them too shallow, there would be no flowers either because the cold would damage them. So the most important thing is no more than 2 inches below the surface. Kind of people say, well, what do I use for fertilizer? My thought is you should always do a soil test and have Cooperative Extension give you a recommendation. But if you just want a ballpark because you're planting your peony right now and you don't have time, just use a tablespoon of 10-20-20 in the bottom of the hole, mix it all up with the soil that's there, and put your peony in, and then make sure that it is well packed into the hole and watered. How much water do you need to give peonies? Well, over the season, especially in a year like this where it's been so dry, I would say you need to water new peonies at least 3 times a week with a good drenching soak of water. That's all for tonight, but join us again next week when we'll talk more about peonies for your home garden.
Gardening tips brought to you by Fairbanks Stump Grinders and by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
All right, Joe Cook has another report from the Wheel Games.
That's right, but this time Joe is participating again. Stay tuned for that.
Also, UAF adds 2 new assistant coaches.
Those stories and more with Joe after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. We're ending the week right with some local sports. I'm Joe Cook. Wheel competition continued at the Carlson Center for day 3. Be warned, some of the video you're about to see isn't for the squeamish. This morning, athletes started with the Indian stick pull. This event is a grip test for grabbing fish by the tail. The stick used is covered in slippery Crisco. Chris Kalmakoff from Ivanov Bay won his first gold in the event today, and Ivory Oklezik of Nome won the women's title. Now, one of the headline events of Wheel is the ear pull, which tests one's threshold for pain. And things got a little bloody today, as you're about to see. Mitzi Evans of Fairbanks, she won her 3rd straight ear pull title. And on the men's side, Eddie Airy out of Kaktovovic outpulled James Lamprey for the gold. Airy may have had an advantage. The last time he did the ear pull was in the 1980 Arctic Winter Games, but even after 35 years, it still hurts.
It's like somebody is got a thin string and holding onto your wrist and dragging you on your wrist. It was tough. He just about had it a few times, and I could see his ear starting to fold, so I just went straight back. So it's years and years of practice.
I didn't have any time to train. I worked 6 days a week, so I didn't have any time. I had no idea that I was going to go that far undefeated, so yeah, it was fun.
A couple of Alaska Natick teams continue to build their programs this summer with the addition of assistant coaches. Today, new volleyball head coach Brian Scott named Robert Barrett his new assistant coach. Barrett spent the last 4 seasons as director of operations for volleyball at Division I Weber State in Utah. He was a volunteer assistant coach 3 years before that at Weber State as a data volley technician. Then on Thursday, new cross country and skiing head coach Nick Crawford appointed Shane Kurtzinger as his new assistant coach. Kurtzinger comes in from Lincoln Memorial University in Tennessee, where he was a grad assistant coach for the past 2 seasons. Kurtzinger was a part of a staff that produced 7 all-conference runners and 12 school records. He's also the school record holder in the 5K and 10K at LMU. The rain came in Chugiak and shortened the Gold Panthers game against the Chinooks on Thursday night. The game would count, and the Chinooks shut out the Gold Panthers 4-0 in 6 innings. Braxton Wilkes struck out 2 in the complete game for the Chinooks, and David Morton went 3 for 4 and scored twice for Chugiak. The Gold Panthers fall to 6-19 in the ABL and 10-21 overall. Alaska continues its 4-game roadie, taking on the Oilers this evening, and they will play the Chinooks again on Saturday. 2 Eclipse soccer teams advanced to the playoffs of the Swans USA Cup in Blaine, Minnesota today. Unfortunately, Eclipse 01 and the Eclipse 99 teams both lost their quarterfinal games to Minnesota teams. In the U14 division, Egan Wave shut out Eclipse 01 2-0, and Eclipse 99, they were shut out by the CC United Bulldogs 5-0 in the U16 division. Eclipse went 2-1 in pool play to make the playoffs. The 99 team went 1-2 and clinched the last playoff spot. We leave you tonight with a recap of last night's WEO events. One event in particular left me dumbfounded. Food of the native culture becomes available for those willing to take in the experience. Here's more.
On the second night of WEO, the primetime event was the Alaskan high kick. Casey Ferguson out of Anchorage took this year's crown with a successful kick of 94 inches for back-to-back titles. For the women, Autumn Ridley won the event for the 3rd straight year with a successful kick of 82 inches. The result for Ridley and Ferguson was the same last year. About 10 men wowed the crowd in the men's blanket toss prelims. Kyle Worrell and Nick Hansen stole the show with their acrobatic feats with the help of strong pullers. The finals will be Saturday night.
If you remember a couple of years ago, I tried my hand at some WEO events thanks to Amber Vasca Kerpluck. I did good in some, not so much in others. This year, I'm trying something new. I got to prepare my stomach for this one.
Muktuk is the skin and blubber of a whale. It's just one of the mainstay supplements that was used for harvesting, years and years ago for the village. And when a whale is landed, it takes the whole village to bring it in, so it feeds the whole village.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try my first piece of Muktuk here. Yeah, very interesting texture. I've never tasted anything like it. It's very unique. Yep. Very chewy. Reminds me of maybe octopus a little bit.
Maybe it's kind of like gum almost, you could say.
Got my first piece of Muktuk. Very hard to describe. You have to try it for yourself. Thank you, Mr. Strange.
I'm going to leave the Muktuk eating to the pros. The Muktuk eating contest closed out the second night of WEO. Participants ate a 2x2 cube of Muktuk as fast as they could. Fairbanks' own Donna Rexford won the contest for the 2nd straight year, finishing her cube in 49.3 seconds. Good. Joe Cook reporting.
And that's it for sports tonight. Definitely an experience I won't forget. Muktuk. Mike Schultz is up next with your weekend weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into a Friday night edition of News Center of Fairbanks Evening News, actually, and we're going to be talking about the weather right now. Mike Schultz with you once again. It was a beautiful day across the interior. Had a few showers early this morning, but things wrapped up looking pretty good by this afternoon, and we are looking at more rain in the forecast. I'll tell you about that in just a little bit. An indicator that we're getting toward the end of summer is here already. The first fireweed. Ingrid Hine was able to capture some of this out in the area, and you can see a beautiful display. But and the good thing is it's still pink. That's the good news. It hasn't started blossoming out, so that's really good. But again, as always, if you have a photograph to share, photos at ktvf11.com, and we will share with the rest of the audience. Our high today, 73. Right now, 71. The low last night, 53. The record high, 89 in 1940. And the record low, 35 in 1905. Now your sunrise and sunset, 19 hours and 53 minutes of daylight, a loss of 6.5 minutes from yesterday, and the barometer is starting to fall pretty good. On the satellite and radar, this area of low pressure here is bringing us southwest flow. When you get southwest flow, that's what gives us the best chance of getting any moisture in here, and that's looks like this trying to work its way through the passes into our neck of the woods. And this big blob of moisture here coming our direction too, so it looks like more rain in the forecast. As far as our rest of the state is concerned, you can see showers around the Juneau area, cloudy skies at Ketchikan, just a few showers over the Anchorage Bowl and the Kodiak Island, along the Aleutian Chain, Cold Bay at 54, sunshine up and down the west coast, not as warm as it was yesterday, no, 59 degrees today, but chilly in Barrow, 38 degrees there, and Fort Yukon, exactly 70 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Lower 48 weather, the heat continues. 93 degrees at Denver, 100-degree temperatures in Las Vegas and Phoenix. Another hot day in Seattle, 82 degrees there. Thunderstorms across the southern sections of California, and they need that for the fire situation, the fire potential that's going to be happening. 90-degree temperatures across much of the Midwest, right on down into Texas, 97 at Dallas, and over the East Coast, a little bit of a breather there. 80 degrees in New York with some scattered shower activity. On the satellite and radar, most of the energy, once again, is moving across the Great Lakes, across the Northeast, helping to spawn some more thunderstorm activity there across the South, too. This area back here is what's with the remnants of what was once Tropical Storm Dolores, and it's helping to spread a lot of moisture into the southwest and bring very heavier amounts of rain around the Phoenix area, into Tucson, and even into Las Vegas. And the overall picture for tomorrow is calling for the thunderstorm area to expand, as you can see, moving up toward the Salt Lake City area. Even Los Angeles might see some thunderstorm activity. And the new jet stream for later on early next week, and for the most of next week, as you can see, is well to the north, but a secondary jet stream bringing that hot, humid air up and down the eastern seaboard, so hot temperatures will continue. All right, back to Alaska for tomorrow. The northern sections, dense fog developing at Barrow, showers for Nome, and cloudy skies in Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, it's going to be wet. Periods of rain at Fairbanks, heavy rain possible for Healy, and showers in the Delta Junction region. Over southeast Alaska, we're looking at rain for Juneau to continue, and rain likely at Ketchikan. So you can see the pattern developing here, wet everywhere you look. Cloudy skies and showers in Cold Bay, showers also at Bethel, and mostly sunny skies for Kodiak. While over south central sections, showers at Valdez, just cloudy skies in Anchorage, and also mostly cloudy skies for Homer. So here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. Looking at cloudy skies, then rain showers likely after midnight, 51 degrees tomorrow. Going to be a wet one. Looks like rain showers through the day. Sometimes those will be heavy rain showers, 66 degrees. And the 5-day outlook, temperatures slowly warming up by the middle part of next week, with showers continuing on Sunday. After that, just mainly partly cloudy to cloudy skies. And looking at overnight lows, once again, in the low to mid 50s, a little bit cooler on Monday night. And here we are with Muck Tuck Joe. That's going to be his new name, right?
Really? Did it? It's something that it's hard to describe. It's kind of like, it tastes like whale. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I can say. Like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, honestly. It was actually surprising, very different. Mm-hmm. But I can check that off the bucket list now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had it before?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a whale of a good time.
Sure is.
Good one. All right, thanks, guys. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Well, tonight on NBC Nightly News, the Chattanooga gunman is being examined for clues in yesterday's shooting. That's up next with Lester Holt.
Be sure and tune in tomorrow night for the Interior's only weekend newscast at 6 and 11 with Mike Fussell and Stephanie.
I think I'll be filling in tomorrow, so you'll see me again. All right, well, we leave you tonight with some of the sights today at the Golden Heart Plaza with the Cold Steel Pan Group performing. From all of us here at the News Center, have a great weekend.